Okay, so tonight's practice, we're actually going to play with the heat element. So fire. So if you want to start in a comfortable seat, so whether you're sitting on a pillow or a block or anything, just that makes you a little more comfortable. And either cross legs out in front, just wherever you feel really comfortable in your seat, and you can get a little more length into the spine. And so just having your arms relaxed, so whether your palms are facing down, whether they're facing up, whether they're in your lap, wherever feels completely comfortable for you and kind of in a nice safe space. So you might give a gentle roll of your shoulders, kind of broadening through the chest, and then start to lengthen up a little more through the crown of your head, tucking the chin slightly in towards the neck. And then if you're using the playlist, just press play when you're ready. And then closing down the eyes when you feel comfortable, or even just taking your gaze softly down towards the ground. And we'll have a couple moments here as you start to feel the flow of your breath coming in and out of your nose. Starting to feel the sensation of your jaw relaxing, of the eyebrows softening, and the light pulse of your belly and your chest. Feeling that rise and fall of your torso. As you move the attention into your breath and into that space of your body, you start to just notice the temperature of your body. So whether you're hot or cold, any sensations on tops of the skin, the wind or breeze, goosebumps. Just noticing that anything that's arising in your body. And you'll start to take the breath a little deeper, working its way down into the base part of the belly, the deepest part. And we'll begin with our full yogic breath tonight. So inhaling for 4, and we'll hold the breath for a second, exhale for 4, and then hold it again for a second. So just take one deep joint breath in, and maybe just parting the lips and softly letting the breath out, letting it go. And we inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold the empty breath. Breathe in 2, 3, 4. Hold for a moment. Exhale 2, 3, 4, and hold. Breathe in 2, 3, 4. Hold that filling feeling. Exhale, let it go. 2, 3, 4, and hold the emptiness. Breathe in and just starting to kind of find your way, your own pace of the breath. Inhaling for 4, holding on as long as you like. Exhaling for 4, again holding for as long as you like. Keeping the eyes relaxed, the shoulders soft, the whole body just coming into the sensations of your breath. Noticing how it feels to just breathe, to have your full intention, your full focus on the sensation and movement through your body. And just take one more round. The full breath in, the long releasing breath out. And slowly just returning back to just the natural flow of your breath. And when you feel ready, lightly open the eyes. And we'll start in a child's position, or child's pose tonight. So if you want to go ahead and head towards the back of your mat. So if you're using any props, you can either have a blanket underneath the knees or a pillow or blanket in the creases of the knees, but keep the space in front of you free as we're going to add in a twist. So knees out nice and wide, big toes tracking together. You can always add a blanket too underneath the fronts of the feet for a bit of support there if you find they're lifting. And then walk your hands or crawl your hands forward to the top of the mat. Pull the chest down towards the ground and then just rest the forehead towards the mat. And we're just going to land here just for a couple breaths. So you might wiggle around the hips or the shoulders, finding a subtle, soft kind of movement. And then when you feel ready, two options here. So you can start by walking your hands over towards your left-hand side and then lowering the forehead down is your first option if this feels okay here. Otherwise, to add on, you'll lift the chest slightly, pick up your right arm, spread your right arm underneath your left. So you get this little twist sensation through the belly, and you're going to reach in this right hand through. You rest on the right side of your head, and then again, another option to bind your left arm behind your back. So 3 different options there. Choose whichever one suits your body and whichever one you can comfortably get into kind of through the chest and the upper back. And then you can play around with each different position, finding your way through, but we're trying to get a little bit of a twist into the belly. Yeah, okay. Beautiful. And as you start to rest into the pose, you want to bring that kind of softness through the fingers and the toes, softening into the right shoulder as it anchors down. And even just relaxing through the creases of the mouth, the creases of the eyes, to the cheekbones, even into the ears. So tonight's practice, as we explore our element of fire and the element of heat, kind of playing with these two opposite effect and bringing them to balance. So this idea of playing with kind of fire of passion, desire, love, motivation, determination, versus the complete opposite of being out of balance when we feel angry or hatred, jealousy, irritation. Trying to come to that middle balance of releasing any of kind of those uncomfortable kind of feelings in the body when it starts to boil up to that kind of tipping point. And really just come into this neutral kind of cooling place. And you can accept that heat and that fire and balance it with love and cooling energy. Even just noticing here as we twist through the belly and expand a little through the chest and the upper back. And again, feeling those sensations. Can you feel any heat? What can you feel on the top of the skin? What arises in the physical sensation in your body? And as your body heats up, can you feel the tension building? And just take 3 more breaths here. Okay, if your left arm is bound, slowly bring your left hand back down to the mat and really soft through the shoulder. Take your time to unravel your right arm and slowly extending your hands or your arms straight out in front of you. So you can either just stay in the center here if your knees or hips are feeling a little sensitive. Before we switch to the other side, you might just lift the hips up, give them a shake. You might do a cat-cow, or you can just stay sinking back. So your choice here if you need to find a bit of movement, a bit of release. But just take a couple breaths in whatever kind of neutral pose or neutral movement feels good for you. And if you're having any movement, slowly come back to stillness and your regular child's pose, lengthening out nice and long, chest centered, arms centered, forehead down to the mat. Take a deep breath all the way down into the deepest part of the belly and completely part the lips and let the breath go, letting out any excess heat. Okay, venturing to the other side. If you want to slowly walk your hands over towards the right hand side, again, you can always stay here. Otherwise, if you're adding on, lift the chest up slightly, thread your left arm underneath your right, and then you might have a little reach through of your left hand to pull into the left shoulder. You rest on the side of the head, or you can always add a block or pillow, and the option to bind your right arm behind your back. If you have the space in your shoulders, you can, as you bind the right arm, it'll kind of reach the crease of the left hip if that's accessible. Otherwise, it can just kind of rest behind your back. And knowing at any point you can wriggle around, you can move, you can add in any comforts, any pillows, any blankets, any props. Anything to assist you, to support you. Letting that support into the body so we can focus a little bit more, kind of an inward journey. Taking that pull away from the body and just feeling the breath, feeling the sensation, feeling everything that's just arising right here and right now. Maybe noticing tonight if in particular any poses for you set off any heat in your body. I know this is one pose for me right here where I start to feel this kind of filling up feeling of heat kind of pouring all the way to the top of my head. And keeping that focus on just breathing in and out of the nose as deep and as slow as you can. Feeling yourself start to settle, start to come a little bit more into your own space. Noticing if anywhere in your body is tightening or tensing. Bringing up the fingers, the hips if they're squeezing, relaxing into the glutes just a little bit longer here. You take 3 last breaths in and out of the nose. If you have your right arm bound, gently bring the right hand back down, relaxing through your right shoulder. Slowly lift the chest, unthread the left arm, and then extending both arms out long. We're going to start to lift the hips straight away here. So lift your chest, lift your hips up, bring your knees underneath your hips, your wrists roughly underneath your shoulders, and then coming into your cat position, you'll start to pull up through the spine, round through the back. Tuck the chin all the way in to relax completely through the neck, and then we just hold here. Getting that really freeing feeling down the back of the neck. Maybe a little extra push up into the shoulders, curling them in, relaxing into the top of the toes. And I'm feeling that sensation of your jaw just completely letting go here. Okay, slowly coming back to a neutral spine. And then in a nice gentle way, we'll come down onto our belly. So if you just want to crawl your hands forward, wiggle your knees back, and lying down onto your stomach. Okay, we're going to start in a Sphinx pose. So go ahead and come up onto your forearms. I'm going to show you a few options of where we're heading next. We're trialing a different pose today. So your first option, you want to bend we'll start with your right arm across your body. So across your torso, your right hand goes towards your left elbow, and then your right elbow will roughly be kind of in line with your shoulder. So you can either stay here. I'm going to turn around so you can see me. So you can stay here and you start to just walk your right hand across to the left. So you should start to feel this little pull into the right shoulder blade here. So that's your first option. If you have tight shoulders, you can just stay here. Second option to add on here is you bend your left elbow and take your left hand towards the right. You then start to crawl both hands away from your body, so they're going in opposite directions. So it ends up looking like an X with your arms. So this should feel like a release across the top of the shoulder blades or the upper back. So it's like you're kind of spreading your shoulder blades across your back. And then you can always grab a block or a pillow to rest underneath the forehead or tuck the chin in. I hope that made sense. So you're either crossing your arms or either just threading the right arm through and keeping the left hand facing forward if it feels too much. Nice. And then yeah, you can either tuck the chin all the way in, or if you do have a prop, I highly recommend using a prop underneath the head. You won't stay in this position too long. And then just noticing here, find as soon as you start to release through the upper body, there's kind of this desire to tense into the lower body that becomes like this hold through there. So make sure the ankles and heels fall out to the side. Relax into the glutes. I always find a little wiggle of the hips starts to loosen them up a little. And then just find where you're comfortable here. The further you walk your hands away from you, the deeper, the more intense the opening will feel. So find your edge where you can breathe steadily, where the pace of your breath doesn't change, where it feels like this kind of fluid movement in and out of the nose, soothing all this space into your body. Relax the shoulders as much as you can, noticing if they want to tense and tighten. Again, noticing those sticky points in your body where you hold on to. Is the jaw squeezing together? Is the rhythm of your breath changed? And you're noticing in this pose what kind of sensations you can feel here, or the temperature of your body. Do you still feel the same as when you started? Do you feel a little more heat? Maybe there's a little bit more of a chill. Maybe you can feel the air blowing through the house and a breeze into the surface of your skin. Maybe you can feel the pulse through the shoulders or the fingers. Just 3 last breaths here. Okay, slowly, really slowly lifting your forehead. You want to gently walk your left hand back in. Slowly bringing your right hand back in, and then your choice here, whatever's comfortable for you. If it feels better to make a pillow and lower the forehead down, go for that. Otherwise, take your arms down by your sides. Turn your palms up so your shoulders curl in, and then turning your head whatever direction feels more natural for you. And then just allowing those sensations to really marinate around the shoulders, the up of the back of the heart. Feeling the body just drop down to the earth. The completely relaxed, comfortable position where the body's free. The breath is just flowing. And then the mind's just wandering. Okay, take one more deep breath in and letting it all flow out. Okay, lift through the chest. Forearms come back down to the mat. Start with your Sphinx pose and head into the other side. So start by having your right forearm extended frontwards. So your hands are frontwards. Your left arm threads underneath your right. Again, you can either stay here if this is enough through the shoulder. Otherwise, you start to walk the left hand further away from you. And then again, if you're taking that full variation, your right arm will cross the opposite direction, making an X with your arms. And then you can just play with crawling the hands further away. And then again, highly recommend having a prop under your head, or you can always just support the chin onto your arm. I don't know how comfortable that would feel with your chin bone poking into the arm. Taking whatever variation feels comfortable, supported in your body, where you feel that sensation of a deep release and opening, that you can breathe calmly and smoothly. Breathing into your upper back, the back of your heart. Feeling the shoulder blades spread across your back. Again, maybe noticing if you created any tension into your lower body. Allowing the toes to be free and spacious. Allowing the hips to melt down into the mat. The heels to fall away from the body to the sides. For your lower body to feel completely still and completely relaxed. Take one more breath here. You slowly lift the chin. You gently walk the right hand back in. The left follows through. And then again, whatever neutral pose you chose before, either a pillow with your hands or take your arms down by your sides. This is a lot more gentle on the shoulders. Curl them in, palms up, and then turn your head in the opposite direction to what you did before. Allowing the body to completely collapse down. Even noticing how soothing it can be to be face down onto the ground, the body heavy and still. Take 3 more breaths here. Your own time, your own pace. In and out of your nose. Really feeling yourself breathe. Noticing how you breathe. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and make your way all the way back up onto all fours. Super gently all the way up, lift the hips, the chest, and we'll come to a seat. So if you want to wriggle yourself over onto your sitting bones, then take your right leg out towards the side or towards the corner. Left sole of the foot comes to rest onto the inner thigh. And if you do need a blanket to sit on, that option's always there to make it a little more comfortable here. Okay. As you breathe in, circle your arms all the way out to the sides and up to the sky, growing nice and tall. So feeling that long length. And then as you exhale, slowly twist to your left. And you're going to bring your right hand to your left knee. And your left hand will just gently fall behind you towards the mat. And then this is where we'll hold. Relax into your right leg. So we're not keeping anything active here besides the muscles in our spine. So keep lifting up through your spine, the crown of the head, sinking your right hip back so you can feel both kind of sitting bones pushing into the mat. And you might just gently take your gaze over the left shoulder. And you can either look down towards the ground, or if it's natural for you, then close the eyes. And this is where we'll hold, making this a really gentle twist in the body. But there's still this idea of this fire and engagement through the core and through the spine, this lift through the body, and finding a way to relax into that. Noticing if the spine has started to curl at all. Keep lifting up. If the shoulders are reaching up to the ears, soften them back and down. And have just one more breath here. A deep breath in and a long breath out. Okay, slowly turn your gaze back towards the front and then just letting your torso gently follow with you. Okay, we're coming into our lovely lateral side stretch, which I know is always a favorite. So if you need a block or a prop or anything you have to place underneath the right arm, as you breathe in, your left arm reaches up to the sky, again, finding that length and that little lift of the heart. And as you exhale it gently, just to hinge over towards your right. So you can stay nice and lifted. You can just keep your right hand supported onto the mat. If you can go all the way down, go for it. So whatever position you enjoyed here, you might relax the left elbow behind the head. You might support with the right hand underneath your head. Now, wherever you are, your focus is through this left side of your body. So your right rib's pulling under, your left rib is pulling back. The heart is reaching up towards the sky. Really nice and deep into the lateral part of the body. And again, maybe the eyes relax and they close. Tuning out a little more from the outside world. And just an invitation here again to notice the temperature of your body. Are you hot, cold, neutral? Have you got goosebumps? Has anything changed? Maybe even noticing what emotions arise as you feel any heat in your body or any other sensation. Okay, take one last breath here. And as you inhale, we slowly lift through the chest, letting your left arm gently fall down. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to head straight to the other side. So taking your left leg out to the side, you might give it a little shake if the knee's a bit tender. And then the right foot comes in to the inner thigh. Okay, sitting up nice and straight. Take your breath in, circle your arms all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, we slowly twist. So the left hand comes down to the right knee or the thigh. Right hand falls behind you and we hold. The gaze maybe drifts over the right shoulder. And you might even feel this nice little opening through the left side of the neck. Relaxing through the soles of the feet and the toes, the ankles. Keeping your chest open and free as the shoulders roll back. Opening through the heart. Okay, one more round of breath, that deep breath in to lift up nice and tall. Letting go of the air, release it out. And slowly returning your gaze back to the front, and your torso follows through. Okay, coming into our side stretch. If you were using any props, move it over to the other side. Take a breath in, raise your right arm up, and then in your own time, whatever kind of variation as you hinge over to your left, either using a prop, maybe letting the arm fall, maybe sitting up nice and straight, wherever you feel somewhat comfortable. And it can keep the heart lifting and breathe freely through the nose. I know this isn't the most joyous position. So breathing through it as much as you can, thinking about how open the sides of your body are going to be. And relaxing into this uncomfortable space as much as you can. So release into the toes, the thighs, the hips. Slow down the breath. Find every sense of relaxation that you can. Okay, let's just take one more breath here. And as you inhale, slowly rise all the way up to straight, letting the arm fall. Okay, nice and easy one. Come into a comfortable seat. So if you want to cross your legs, if you want to sit onto a block, if you want to have your legs out in front of you, just wherever you feel comfortable. Okay, take a big roll of the shoulders, so all the way up towards the ears, and slowly rolling them all the way back and down. Okay, on an inhale, take your arms all the way out to the sides and up to the sky. And as you take your arms up, lift your gaze towards the roof, lifting the chin all the way up. The palms might touch, but then as you exhale, take your arms all the way back out to the sides, all the way down, and tuck your chin all the way in, down towards your legs. Take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, roll the shoulders back as you breathe in, your chest starts to lift, and again, take your gaze up towards the sky. And then hold here. So you might squeeze the fingers, might drop the shoulders down a little more. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, the chin comes back to a neutral position. Let go of the hands. So we're going to take that flow 2 more times. So if you want to close the eyes, feel free. Take a deep breath in, circle the arms all the way up to the sky. The chin lifts, the throat opens, the palm touch. As you exhale, the arms come out, down, out to the sides and all the way down. The chin tucks in. Interlace your hands behind you. Roll the shoulders back as you breathe in. You lift your heart. You lift your chin. You open the throat. Your heart reaches up towards the sky, and we hold for a moment. Squeezing the shoulders blades in. Broadening through the collarbones. Take a breath in. And exhale, let go of the hands. Neutral neck, neutral spine. One more time. Inhale, breath, flow the arms up to the sky. Breathing in deeply. The chin lifts, the palms gently touch. Exhale, breath, let your hands fall out to the sides and then all the way down. Chin tucks in as you interlace your hands behind you. You gently roll the shoulders back, taking your chin up towards the sky, pulling the shoulders back and down as your heart lifts nice and high. Maybe the throat opens, we hold. Breathing into the heart area. We're going to hold here just a couple breaths now. You might give the hands a little squeeze, making sure the neck is in a comfortable position. You can always tuck it back in. Just feeling that space across the chest, across the heart. Take a deep breath into the chest. And then as you exhale, slowly releasing the hands, tuck the chin back in to a neutral spine. Okay, we're going to go ahead and head down onto our back. So if you want to go ahead and lie down in a nice comfortable position. So if you can take your legs out long, and then your arms down by your sides, and we're just going to have a moment to land here. I've had a lot of threading, a lot of moving around. So have a moment to let the toes fall to the side. Maybe the palms turn up to the sky. Shoulder blades relax into the mat. And the eyes gently close. The body becomes still. And you have a moment here to notice the body again. To notice the temperature. To notice any sensation. Pulse, a twitch, a light movement of any muscles. And then back to your breath. Breathing deeply in and out of the nose. Okay, bend your knees, ground your feet, and comfortably finding your knees close together and your ankles together. You might need to wiggle around the pelvis. And then we're taking a nice gentle twist today. So take your arms out to the sides. If you can, have your palms facing up to the sky, so the shoulders are a little bit more open. You want to wriggle your hips across towards your right, so you can slowly lower your knees over towards your left. And then your choice, you can use a block or a pillow, place it between the knees if you find they're open and it's not comfortable, or underneath the knees, even the feet if you need it. And then if it's okay, you might turn your gaze towards your right hand. Keeping this nice and light through the belly. And as you start to let go of any heat and any emotions or feelings that follow that fire element, any anger that you need to let go of, any irritation, any jealousy, anything that's being kind of stirring up in the body, you're creating that space to just let it go now, to let it release. Let the body be cool and calm and completely open. Being here for just a little bit longer. Letting the mind just wander. Letting the thoughts drift away. And every time just coming back, breathing deeply, slowing it down. Take one more deep breath here. Okay, gently releasing your twist, lift your knees back up to the sky. And then just for a moment, coming back to a neutral pelvis, so you can keep the knees bent. You can always knock the knees together, feet out wide, or just whatever feels comfortable. You can leave the arms where they are. You can just drop them down for a moment. But wherever you are, just take one deep breath in through the nose, part the lips, and breathe it out. Okay. Take your time to head to the other side. So feet together, knees together. Arms are out to the side, palms up. You wiggle your hips towards your left, taking any props with you as you twist across to your right. And then maybe the head gently turns in whatever direction feels comfortable for you. Maybe you can feel nice and free through the neck and through the throat. Going to settle into that space of stillness and quietness. You begin to tune out anything around you, being wholeheartedly in your body. You slowly bring your knees back up to the sky, release your twist. And again, just for a moment, whatever neutral position, you might bring the knees together, the feet drift out wide. Relax the arms either onto your body or down by your sides. And again, have a moment here to have a full breath in through the nose. Part the lips and just let it out. Sigh it out, let it go. Just a last little release here. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Take your hands to the tops of the knees. You might have a moment to rock side to side if you need to nurse the lower back a little. Otherwise, an opportunity for a bit of a hip opening. The knees drift out to the sides. And then you can either stay here, or if you're going for the full happy baby, you'll reach for the feet or the ankles or the shins, backs of the knees, wherever feels accessible for you, and take the feet up towards the sky. And we won't be holding this one. This is just a nice little juicy release. So if you want a bit of space to rock, if you're craving a little bit of movement, enjoy those last few moments to get a little more spacious in your physical body. And take 3 last breaths wherever you are, whatever movement. Slowly letting go of the hold of the feet, draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs as close as you can. And really just give yourself a big hug here. Go into that full sense of love. Close the eyes. Hold yourself here. Really feeling that hug, maybe giving yourself a big squeeze. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, heading into Shavasana. Letting go of the legs, any blankets, any pillows, any comforts. Go ahead and make yourself completely comfortable as your legs fall down towards the ground. Your arms float away from the body. Eyes gently close down. Backs of the shoulders melt into the mat. The heart melts down towards the ground. The toes drift away to the side. The jaw gently releases. Tension leaves the body. Lightness can take over. Breath gently floats in and out of the nose. This tranquil kind of feeling can overtake your entire body, your entire being. And there's nowhere but to rest in this place of love. This place where you can just completely let go. Taking your space to feel free, to feel light, to feel open. Just be you. Taking some slightly deeper breaths. Feeling the belly rise and fall. If you want to stay and rest a little longer, feel free to stay. Otherwise, the breath gets deeper. The fingers and toes start to wriggle. The body slowly begins to awaken. Maybe you roll the head side to side. Maybe you take a nice big stretch, arms above the head. Just take your time. If you want to roll to one side, then just hold yourself there for a moment. Your eyes closed, body slow. And whenever you're ready, making your way back to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Relax into the shoulders, the eyes soft. Take our final releasing breath together, however you want it to be. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Part the lips and let it go. Bow your head to your heart, to your hands, to your center. And thank you for joining me tonight. Namaste.